Good afternoon and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here this afternoon with Fred and Pretty Girl, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is her ability to understand and respond to her obedience commands, the corrections and the motivations that we give the dogs when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Fred's using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he's keeping the bulk of that leash folded neatly in his right hand. That leaves the left hand free to give any correction. And the correction that we give is a little tug and let go on her training collar. And that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. She's going to come home with her very own training equipment. Now, if you notice, Pretty Girl's sitting very nicely at Fred's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And the first exercise that they're going to demonstrate for us is heeling. The command is Pretty Girl heel, and at this point her job is to walk nicely on your left, not forging ahead or lagging behind, and each time that you stop your feet, she has been taught to sit automatically to wait for her next command. And you see that she's looking up at Fred, she's matching pace with him, and every time that he stops walking, she sits. So when you stop to cross traffic or talk to the neighbor, she's sitting quietly at your left and not jumping around like a Looney Tune. Very nicely done. Now the next exercise that they're going to demonstrate for us is the stay. The stay is a hand and a voice command. Fred's going to use the open flat of his palm, about an inch or two from her muzzle, and the one-word firm command to stay. Don't use her name on stationary exercises. The long sit stay is for 1 minute, working up to 3 minutes, and you can practice this right in your living room. When Fred returns back to her, he will walk all the way around her for an additional distraction. Returning all the way back around to heel position, he gives her a little pat for praise, and they take off heeling again. Your heeling is very important because you can take her places with you and include her more in your life if she's being a lady. And she'll enjoy getting out and walking with you and expending some of that energy if she knows how to behave well. Fred leaves her in a sit-stay. And this time, instead of returning back to her, we are going to demonstrate the recall, or the come on command. You use her name and the word come. She should come right in front of you and sit facing your knees. That's so that she doesn't come and jump all over you, and then she returns back around to heel position, which we call the finish, and Fred leaves her again in a sit-stay. Quite a different dog than the dog that you sent, right? Fred calls her and he praises her on the way in. Coming to you should always be happy. And then he has her return around and back sitting. Very nicely done. Now the next exercises that we're going to demonstrate for you are our down commands, and there are 2 of them. We have down from a heel and down from a distance. So the first one that we're going to demonstrate is the down from a heel position. Always have your dog seated before you attempt to put her into a down. Fred's going to use the open flat of his palm straight down toward the ground and the one-word command to down. The long down stay when you're practicing at home is for 3 to 5 minutes. And again, these exercises are to be incorporated into your everyday living situation. So practice them right in your home. While you're sitting down to eat is a good time. When Fred returns back to her, he will walk around her as he did on the sit stay as an additional distraction. Every time you return to your dog's shoulders, she expects to get another command, and we're going to demonstrate that down from a heel one more time. Perfectly done with a hand command, just a hand command. And you can learn to mix up your exercises, so this time Fred will call her out of that command. She comes right in and sits. Beautiful. And then goes back to heel position and back sitting. If she doesn't sit, you heard Fred say no. He gave a little tug on her training collar and she sat right away. Now the next exercise that we're going to set up for is the down from a distance. Remember, always sitting first. Fred's going to leave her in a stay. He walks out to the end of his training leash. This is the only time that he's going to use his right hand to give the command and drop her into it down from 6 feet away. Doesn't get much prettier than that. And she's done a great job here at school. We've demonstrated her heel, her automatic sit, her stay, her down from a distance, and her come. These are the exercises that you're going to start out practicing with her at home using your video. You're going to get your private one-on-one lesson tomorrow. We've enjoyed having her, and thank you again for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.